Hi there, I'm David Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Wizkid's new Warlock tiles. And this time, this is the version with the full height stone walls. Now, there's two different settings. One is the dungeon tiles, and the next one is the town and village expansion. And each of these have two separate versions. First of all, they're all the full height stone walls. In each one, you get the full height stone walls instead of the lower walls, as in the first ones. Now, in the dungeon tiles 2, you get the full height stone walls and the floors. But then there's an expansion to where if you just want the walls themselves, you can get just the walls. Same thing goes for the town and village. You can get just the walls, or you can get the walls with the floors. And of course, there is a price difference. For instance, with the town and village, with just the walls, it's only $80, whereas if you get the full height walls with the floors, it's $130. And of course, with these particular Warlock tiles by Wizkids, they're just as good as the first ones. Now let's take a look and see what you actually get. Now right here is the town and village with the walls. And let's kind of do a sweep over and take a look at it. As you can see, you get plenty of floor tiles. You get plenty of connectors to hook everything together. And what's really nice is, of course, you get the usual doors and stuff, but with these walls, on these walls, each wall has a small hole so you can attach something. And there's a little accessory bag here, which gives you small lanterns, swords, and shields together. And you can take these and you can mount them directly to the walls. And here's the wall section. And here we're going to put a lantern right in it, just like that. And now let's take a look at the next accessory. So the wall again, and then we have the shield and sword combination. Looks pretty good. Plus, the hole is fairly unnoticeable when you don't have either of them in there. Now with these Warlock tiles, even though they're the full height stone walls, you also get these full height corner pieces, which again, this is useful for filling voids when you're putting together a room and you've got some walls that come together, but there's that little gap between two of the walls, and that's what this is for, is to fill that gap. And then also, we've got the thin walls and doors, which are designed with these little metal blades to allow you to put them between the tiles that are linked together, so that way you can have interior rooms, interior walls and doors to make other rooms without tearing apart your tile setup. As a matter of fact, let's take a quick look at that right now. Okay, so I didn't use everything. However, I was able to build this. Now, what's really nice is when I was clipping some of these tiles together, and also keep in mind that this that you see built before you is not all secure with these clips. I just really wedged all these together. There's a small section right here that I used these clips on. And what's really nice is, unlike the first set of Warlock tiles that dropped, all these little clips must be the easy clips because they are super easy to put together and take apart. And I really like it, and I'm glad they put these in here. And now, as you can see, of course, I've got the extra add-ons on the wall. Like I've got the lanterns, I've got the sword and shield, and you can see I've got the narrow walls and doors in. The narrow doors don't open, just like the other sets, but they're still pretty cool. And of course, as you can see, I've got in the back, I've got a big old stone giant there hanging out, just chilling, just so you can get a little idea of comparison. And then I've got some medium-sized creatures right in here. I've got a Banderhob, which is a large-sized creature. Now, if you wanted to, and let's say you were playing and you wanted to conceal an area from somebody, and let's say they didn't know that there was a guard here, you could easily take something like this comic backer and cover that section of the town or village or the dungeon, and that would be concealed. And what's nice about these comic book backers, they're relatively easy and pretty cheap to come by, but you could use cardboard as well. And as you can see, the banner hob himself, being a large creature, he's not too big. When he's outside the wall, he's almost even with the height, and then when he's inside, he's actually a little taller than the wall. So medium-sized creatures, if you have a bunch of medium-sized creatures in one of these full height town and village sets or dungeon sets, then it's pretty easy to keep them covered and concealed. But for larger creatures, unless they're more squat, kind of lower down, like I know Displacer Beast, I believe, has a large base on it. So they would be able to be in here pretty easy. Or maybe one of the Umber Hulks where they're kind of leaning over. But for most large creatures, you're not going to be able to conceal them too well because it's going to push your cover up. But not everybody does that. And overall, I just want to give you kind of a general idea of what everything looked like. See if we can move this guy over here. Now the full height inner wall is going to be the same height as the full height outer wall once it's in there. And we'll kind of move him around here so you can kind of get an idea of just how big he is versus a medium-sized creature. And you can see there's a lot of extra height there to completely cover the medium-sized creatures. What I do like about Warlock tiles is the second batch matches right up with the first batch. There's no problems or compatibility issues, and they didn't try to redesign it. It looks exactly the same as the other ones. So that way it doesn't, if you try to put them together, there's no one set of town and village walls that look different than the other than the height. And the height is a personal preference thing. I do like the fact, that these clips are easier to attach to each of the tiles. They're easier to pull apart, and I'm really glad they put these in here because the first batch of clips that came out with the original Warlock tiles were really, really tight. But I figure with some work, those other clips probably loosen right up over time, or you could just buy some of these. Or if you buy one of these sets, you get a bunch of clips. And you don't have to clip in every single hole. I usually just clip in one little spot and hook them all together, maximize how many clips I can actually use. So plenty of options. I also like the fact that with these walls, they've also got the little lanterns and the swords and shields you can add on there. And it's just kind of like a little decoration, a little more ambiance. I really like that. But overall, I can't say too much wrong with these. They're solid, they look good, and they do exactly what they say they do. They're full height walls. Now here's the Town and Village full height plaster walls expansion with just the walls. Now you do only get about half as many of the corner pieces. I believe with the full-on Town and Village full height plaster walls, you get 8 of these corner pieces right here, but in this you only get 4. Of course, then again, you are paying less for just the walls, but you still get all the walls with the accessory hole, so you can add the accessories in on it. And as you can see right here, here's accessories in the foreground, and also too, I've sprinkled in some miniatures, so again, you can kind of get an idea of scale with what you're working with. And here are the dungeon tiles too, the full height stone walls, only the stone walls. Here we've got the easy clips, and as you can see, we've got plenty of corner pieces, plenty of wall sections, plenty of double and single dungeon doors, some of the corner posts, more of the thin walls, a couple of the thin doors. I've got some of my miniatures in there for comparison. And something else I really like too is you can see right here, right in the middle, I got a wall with a torch and a wall with a banner. And just like the Town and Village, you get wall enhancements. So you can put either these banners on or these torches. And I think it adds a nice little extra touch to just an otherwise plain wall. And we're going to adjust this up just a little bit, and you can see the height of my stone giant in the background there. And the banner hob. We're going to kind of cruise around here so you can just kind of see a different perspective here on height. All right, and something else I'm going to do is I have some regular dungeon tiles here. that I can show you. These, right here in the foreground, is the standard height dungeon tile. And now we're going to put one of these walls in here, and you can see already how much larger they are. They're considerably larger. We'll put this wizard right in here. There we go. So you got the half height wall, and then you got the full on wall. Now I guess if you want to get really creative, you could probably stack them, but I'm not sure why you would. But you could if you wanted to. Maybe if you had a particularly large creature you wanted to conceal or something. But you can see how the substantial difference between the height of the walls. Here we have the Dungeon Tiles 2, the full height stone walls. And this is the complete set. Not only do you get the full height stone walls, but you also get the flooring tiles. And as usual, all the flooring tiles, whenever you get a set, they are double-sided. All these tiles are double-sided, which is super nice, super convenient. And of course, you get plenty of these corner pieces. All these walls have a spot so you can add some extra stuff like banners or these torches. You've got plenty of doors, plenty of floor pieces, plenty of the thin wall sections with thin door sections. And I gotta tell you, I really think it's kind of worth it to pay more and get the full-on set, just because you get so much in it for 130 bucks. I mean, talk about just hours and hours of playtime with this stuff. It's just really cool, and it just looks really good. Another thing I like about this particular set of Warlock tiles is they give you a choice. You can either get the dungeon tiles or the town and village tiles with the full height walls with the floor tiles, or you can get just the full height stone walls expansion for the dungeon and just the full height plaster walls for the town and village. So if you just want the full height walls, you don't like the shorter walls of the original set, you can just buy the walls and get them for a cheaper price, which is how it should be. But if you want the tiles, you pay a little more. Not unreasonable. And I think the price point's right there. It's consistent with the rest of the Warlock tiles. And I think it's going to be a great addition to your collection of Warlock tiles, especially, again, comes with the easy clips. I love it. All right. Well, I'm David Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild. Thanking you for stopping by. Please check out my other videos of the Warlock tiles that have come out. And just want you to stay safe, play great games, and I'll see you real soon.